Will began to reel in his empty line. Well, that was once called Angel's Rest. Jilted lovers used to jump off of it and dash themselves to bits on the rocks below. Will packed up his fishing gear. Bone knew he had other things on his mind, and they needed to get to the commissary before it closed. Still, she started in on a tale of two fateful lovers. It wasn't the real story. Uncle Ash had told her a mother died trying to save her child. Bone didn't like tales about dead mamas. As she wound through the end of her story, Will was climbing to the road. Bone scrambled up the bank to where her overalls still hung from a branch, thanks to Ruby. Bone hopped into them, yanking them on over her still damp underclothes and fastening them as she ran after him. And that's why the train whistle sounds so lonesome coming around that bend. Bone caught up with Will, and they walked along the gravel road together, not saying another word. She was content in Will's stony silence. A sound like thunder broke that silence. The skies were clear, and the mines were closed for another day. In the summer, the men worked other jobs, picking fruit or milling lumber, or they hunted, farmed, and fished to put food on the table. Come the first Friday after Labor Day, both the mines and schools opened. So, that sound could mean only one thing. Bone and Will raced up the road, over the train tracks, and into the coal camp. The thunder grew more deafening as they whipped past the tipple and the mine entrance. The sound couldn't drown out the hoots of Warren Jake Lilly as he flew down the black slate pile on a sled made from a scrap of sheet metal no bigger than a hall rug. He hit the dirt and skidded some yards before he spilled out into the grass at Will's feet. Clay Whitaker leapt down from his perch on the timber frame of the tipple, the chute that loaded coal onto the trains. He scratched out the spot where Jake's sled had stopped its forward motion. "A new record," he declared. Jake beamed as he knocked the coal dust and dirt from his dungarees. "Want to give her a try?" He nudged Will. A slow smile dawned over Will's face, and he followed Jake and Clay. It made Bone forget where he'd be going. The boys climbed the slate pile in giant strides, as if they were kings of the hill. Near the top, Will tugged on Jake's sleeve and cocked his head toward Bone. The other boys stopped to consider her. Jake shrugged. "She's just a girl." Clay scrambled to the top. Bone stared at the back of their heads for a moment and reached down for a rock, half intending it to hurl it at the back of Clay's fat little head. Instead, she studied its thick veins of black, sandwiched by even thicker layers of brown. The stone was more rock than coal. Like her. Her fingertips tingled. A vein of a story ran deep through the rock, but it didn't overwhelm her. It teased her. The story was more like the faraway trickle of a stream, tempting her to come closer. She didn't fall for it. Bone dug deep in her brain for a better tale, one that would make the boys, and her, laugh. One far from the one in the rock. She latched onto a story her Uncle Ash had told her the last time she was over to Mamaw's house. "Well, y'all have fun without me," she called after the boys. "I was going to tell you this story I heard about a prank gone terribly wrong." She turned and started to head slowly toward the commissary. It had mules and outhouses and everything. She heard them stop. Jake Lilly called out her name. She kept walking. "All right, come on then," Clay relented. "It better be a good one." Bone stuffed the stone in her left pocket and chased up the pile after the boys. She promised to tell the story over a cold drink at the store after they finished. Loser buys the pop. Will beat Jake's mark by a few inches. When her turn came, Bone clung to the metal and dove head first onto the rocks. The whang of the sheet metal against the stone nearly deafened her, but she could still hear Jake and Clay cheer.